Ms. Bovill, 2 years ago, you and your mother were shocked when the man you always believed is your dad told you he is not your biological father. You tried to bring the defendant to paternity court 6 months ago, but say he backed out of his appearance. Now that he is here today, you state the DNA results will finally prove your case. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Bovill, you claim for more than 20 years you held on to a secret and had no choice but to confess your belief that Ms. Bovill's father is another man. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Bovill, tell me what happened 2 years ago.
2 years ago, I received a phone call from another brother of mine stating that my dad had doubts that if he was my father or not due to activities that happened before I was born. That was during Thanksgiving on a holiday weekend. And
Can you be more specific? You say activities. What kind of activities?
He felt like my mom was unfaithful and was doing things that wasn't right within the relationship.
Understood.
So now, when I got the phone call, I kind of brushed it off, and then my brother James was on the phone with my dad, and that's when I heard him out of his own mouth say that he wanted to have a DNA test because he needed his own closure just to know if I was his daughter or not.
And how old were you when this conversation happened?
25.
So your whole life, until you were 25 years old, you think this man is your father?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Duvall, what in the world are you thinking when your daughter gets this call?
I was in shock. I had no clue that he ever doubted that Carrie was his daughter. Carrie was devastated.
Well, I
she
expect
was,
so.
My daughter broke down, and this is my only daughter.
Mr. Bovill,
Yes,
you
Your Honor.
decided to make this call on Thanksgiving weekend, sir?
I asked one of my sons for Carrie's number because I wanted to share something with him. When I told my son how I felt about this situation that we're here today for, my sons brought the information to Carrie.
What got you to this point? What led you to this point where you said, I have to talk about this?
Okay, well, when I first met Regina, I lived in Boston. Regina lived in Springfield. And when I relocated from Boston to Springfield, the first 2 weeks I got there, people I didn't even know was telling me, yo, this guy's talking about that's his woman. And so I goes to Regina and I asked her, Regina, what this guy talking about? I only been in this town for 2 weeks. This went on for like 10 years. You know what I'm saying?
10 years?
10 years. And at the same time, I even addressed it to Regina. Why does he keep telling her that? Even her brothers had to go to him and check him on that. Am I right?
What's going on here, Ms. Duvall?
First of all, there is no truth to none of this.
What he just said?
Yes, let's start there. Second of all, Mr. Bovill, if you doubted me, if you did not trust me, why did you stay? If you felt like that all those years, you should have left.
So all of these years, Mr. Bovill, you believe that this other man, who's married to a family member, could be Carrie's biological father?
Yes, Your Honor. What convinced me was 4 years ago, I went to North Carolina and I finally met some of Carrie's cousins. And the person that I'm talking to, one of her cousins, is his granddaughter. Your Honor, if I had a picture and showed it to you right now of her cousin, you would believe that would be Carrie. If I showed you her picture, you would believe that was Carrie. And that's when I said, you know, I knew I was right. I knew I was right.
You saw a picture of this man's granddaughter.
Granddaughter.
And it looks exactly like...
I said, that's my, tears came out of my eyes. And that's when I said, I knew I was right. I knew I was right.
If you look at anybody in my family, from my first cousins down to my third cousins, we all have a same trait. One, we're all blind, we all wear glasses. Two, we all smile exactly the same. And the older I get, the more I start looking like my other cousin. The older she get, another cousin starts looking like me. It's in our genes. We all look alike.
So, Mr. Bovill, all of these years, you have these doubts,
I had these
but
doubts.
you never share them.
The things that went on before Carrie was born, the relationship they had, because her and this person I'm talking about, they did, I mean, after everybody was telling me to keep my eyes on them, watching them, now I'm watching them too. They used to disappear all the time. Oh, he's my wish partner. He was my best friend before you came to pick
Your
her.
Honor, first of all, we are a very close-knit family. The grandchildren are 70 plus deep of my mother's grands and great-grands. And all of them look alike. But the one thing that I did not want to happen here is that my family values would be tarnished with the babbling and the things that he is saying that has no substance to them.
So let me ask you this. During the window of time in which Carrie was conceived, the question really becomes, were you intimate with anyone else during that time?
No, ma'am.
Where there could be another potential father for this beautiful young
No,
woman?
ma'am.
At the end of the day, in paternity court, that's the question we have to answer. Now, what is interesting is in the court papers, I found her birth certificate. Now, on her birth certificate, there is no father listed.
I never found, none of my kids, none of my names on none of my kids' birth certificate.
You didn't let them sign the birth certificate, Ms. Duvall?
Nope.
Ma'am, no,
nope.
that's not the case.
Nope.
Mr. Bovill never took the time to go there and sign those birth certificates. I told him time and time again, you are a grown man. Go to that hospital, to the wherever, and sign your children's birth certificates. I cannot sign them for you.
Like I said, we all made mistakes. At the time, before Carrie was born, we both made mistakes. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I'm not holding no grudge against her, but them 10 years of living in Springfield, people that I didn't know coming up to me, see what I'm saying? Even when we moved to South Carolina, the same person was so infatuated with Regina. Now, she's my wife now. Anything that I did with my kids, he got mad.
You are saying that this gentleman interfered in your relationship, in your parenting, so much that you felt like Miss Duvall and this person, they were having a relationship.
Yes.
And this was all occurring during the window of time in which Carrie was conceived and born. This was going on all of that time.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did he ever say anything to you specifically about actually being Carrie's father?
Yes, he did. When
What
I
did he
moved to
say?
South Carolina, he gonna say, that's my baby. That's my baby. See what I'm saying?
About
I didn't-
Carrie?
Yeah, see, I would say, you know how, about Carrie. That's my baby. That's my
That
baby.
is a lie straight from hell.
Your Honor.
That's a lie
You know
straight
what?
from hell.
Your Honor.
So let me ask you this, and we are in court, and I need your answer to be truthful. Why would they start this type of rumor? Why?
Your Honor.
Especially a person in the family. What would be the motive?
The motive to me, if he was saying any of that, the motive was he was just a liar too.
Were you ever intimate with this other man?
No. For the 100th time, no. I wouldn't even think about being in nothing with this man.
When Carrie was born, even though I had these doubts, I still loved her and I treated her like she was mine.
How? How can you say?
How? Because
how
you
can
know
you
why?
say that in
Because
court?
it-
You have never been a father.
Because you know
you
what?
have
You know
never
what?
been
You
a
know what?
father.
You
And
know
stop
what?
lying
Your
like
Honor,
you
the pictures that I
have.
gave you.
You have
the pictures-
never.
Don't talk over
you
her,
have
Mr. Bovill.
never.
All right.
You came to graduation. You ain't come to mine.
You know what? And I apologize for
No,
that because you know, I
no,
could
'cause
not.
You've never been a
you know
father.
what?
You had
Your
one
Honor,
birthday party for me. You gave me, but you sent boxes of clothes. Giving me things is not being a father. I suffer because I've
And
never
you know what? You did
had
suffer.
You.
It's not fair. You know what's
It's
not
not
fair,
fair
Carrie?
at all.
I owe you an
Think of it.
apology, Carrie. You know, I owe you an apology.
I suffer. My brothers are suffering.
Yeah, you
because
suffered.
of
You
y'all.
did. And I owe you an apology.
And
you
yes,
know
you
what?
owe me an apology.
Mr. Bovill,
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm gonna ask you one last time to be I'm so sick of hearing your mouth.
All right, I won't say. I won't
I
say
mean,
another
just
word,
the
Your Honor.
sound of your voice.
I won't say another
in
word,
my
Your Honor.
ear right now,
I
while
won't say
this
another
young
word.
girl is trying to express to you what your absence, what your dysfunction, what your mistakes have cost her.
Yes, you right, Your Honor.
Go ahead, Miss Bovill. You say you and your brothers have suffered.
We all have suffered. I have You let people hurt me because of you and not having the love of a father. And if you have a father, you would never understand what not having a father does to you, especially being a Black woman. And I love God with all my heart, but
that
it
was your mother
them.
and your grandmother's
It was
fault.
not them. You
They
are
would not let me come
grown.
see you.
Mr. Bovill,
You
don't
are
make me come off
grown.
this bench.
You are grown. And my mother has never, even when we tried to down talk you, she used to say, no, that's still your father. My grandmother never, she brought us to Massachusetts and sent us to your mother to visit you.
My mother did that. My mother.
How? My grandmother brought us on a bus from South Carolina
No, she
to
didn't. No, she
Massachusetts.
didn't. My mother
that
did.
picture that I sent here with me and his other daughter and my other two brothers sitting on the couch was when we went to Boston. That was the first time I've been back to Boston since I was born that I can remember.
And when you went back, did he make an attempt to get to know you, to see you?
He was in jail, so that was the only thing I got to see
You know
him.
what,
I went a couple of years ago. My aunt that lives in Massachusetts brought me there for Christmas. And I went and stayed with my sister. And I went and visited him, and I spent the day with him. And that was it. But the entire time we together, all he can talk about is the past of him and my mother. That has absolutely nothing to do with me. I'm 25. I'm not a child. I know what's going on. I'm very intelligent. I have a brain. I don't give two flying bananas about what they done before me. He talking about 10 years, but I don't care. It has nothing to do with me.
Yes.
I'm the child here. And you have to be able and you to get over that because I shouldn't be doing this right now. I shouldn't be having to do this with you.
You are correct.
She's one.
You are correct. And you are a smart young woman. And I think you can see now, even for me, why I am getting so agitated, because everybody's talking in circles, everybody got stories, and I still don't have a great description as to what the circumstances were surrounding your conception. That's really all I'm here to get to. Because that really is the end-all, be-all of this particular saga. Mm-hmm. This particular moment in time is about that, to get the answer you need. Now, I want to hear your story, and part of that is your witness, and you brought someone with you. I would like you to stand, sir, please, and state your name for the court.
James Bovill III.
Please step to the podium, Mr. Bovill. I'd like to hear from you. And so Mr. Bovill is your father.
Yeah, that's my father.
You're her brother.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you came to court to testify today as to?
Me and my dad have a close relationship, so like, he had told me this like 4 years ago, a few years ago when he come down south, but you know, I had kind of like, I had brushed it off, you know, because it was really like, I didn't really find it like necessary to interrupt my sister with it, so I didn't tell her.
So he mentioned it to you, but you decided not to say anything to your sister at the time.
Yeah, I didn't feel like the time was right and the place was right to.
What did he say to you in particular?
I mean, when he seen that family member, he was like, don't she look just like Carrie? This could be such and such baby. So only thing I can go by is what he believed and how he feel. I can't go off for like, the only thing I could do is just step in the gateway and be there for, which is my sister.
Did he say he was not Carrie's father, or did he say he wasn't sure?
He said he wasn't sure.
Okay, thank you for your testimony. Jerome, I'm ready for the results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Duvall, Bovill versus Bovill, when it comes to 25-year-old Carrie Bovill, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Bovill, you are the father.
I knew he was my father, but now that he knows and he has no more reason to doubt me as his daughter, I really just want to tell him that I'm so sorry that you missed out. And I'm so sorry that you went through all that you had to go through, Dad, because I know it was a bad time in both of y'all's lives, and I just want to say that I forgive you. I forgive you for everything.
Ms. McMahon and Ms. Wilridge, in your previous appearance in our courtroom, you learned your deceased dad had kept a secret from you your entire lives.
Yes, Your Honor.
It turns out that he had cheated on your mother, and you discovered that a good friend of yours was actually your biological sister.
Yes, Your Honor.
Today, you're back because you say your father may have had an affair with yet another woman.
Correct, Your Honor.
We'll soon learn if her son is your biological brother.
Yes.
Miss Swan, you're the woman who claims to have had an affair with their father. You admit that you kept it a secret because he was a married man.
Yes, Your Honor.
You believe your son was a result of that relationship and he is indeed their brother.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your son, Mr. Williams, is waiting outside of the courtroom and we'll meet him in just a moment. Ms. McMahon, how did you find out that you may have a brother you never knew of?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, back in 1999, I was shown a picture. I was at someone that we considered a cousin because we were so close growing up. We were at their house and I was shown a picture of a little boy. I think he probably had to be about 7 at that time. I was told that it was my brother. I looked at the picture, but I didn't see any resemblance. So at that time, I just passed it off as something that they were trying to say, and I never thought about it again. But in 2001, there was someone that showed up at my mom's house, and he claimed to be my dad's son. And at that particular time, I was not at the house at the time, but my other sisters and my mom got a chance to meet and talk to him. And my sister Gloria was there, and she actually got a chance to meet him.
Yes,
You
Your Honor.
did. Ms. Wilridge, explain, what happened on that day?
Well, a few days before we did see him, my sister had said, well, we think possibly this guy could be your brother. So the next few days, he came over to my oldest sister's house, and he met my oldest sister and my mom, and I kind of hung in the back a little bit, and then I went out and I greeted him. When I first seen him, he didn't have any similarities of my father. So they sat and we talked a while in the living room, and we had a little conversation, and he left. And from then on, I just kind of let it go. It didn't really come back to me until, you know, just now.
And in your mind, your parents were a happily married couple.
That's
That's
right,
what you knew.
That's
Well,
right.
ma'am, Your Honor, we were young. We knew that there were problems, but we were too young to understand the full spectrum of what had been going on. We have heard that he could have been sleeping with another woman, but we didn't know about Miss Swan.
Miss Swan,
Yes, Your Honor.
so you did have a relationship with their father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you know he was married?
Yes, Your Honor, because when we first met one another, he told me he was married.
But why would you still mess with a
And
married
I told-
man? Why would you do that?
And
That
not
is
only was
just
he
low.
not only was he a married man, but you were also messing with a guy that you knew was messing with your
with your
neighbor,
friend, your
and that was your
neighbor.
friend, you know. And that was just like, you sleeping behind with a married man, and you sleeping behind your friend's man or your neighbor man. Why would you do such a thing as being a woman?
But see, I know he was married, but I didn't know he was sleeping around with no other woman or nothing.
But
All that didn't come up in
well,
no
you said when the
conversation.
relationship started, you did know he was married.
Yeah, he told me he was married.
Okay, and you
And
still.
so
Decided
then
to have-
a sexual relationship developed.
Not at the first. Not
Okay.
at the first.
Explain, how did it turn into a sexual relationship?
With
you.
a good while. It was a long time before we had any relationship. I say about a month passed or something like that It passed, and that's what, after
A
that.
month. So do you feel bad for what you've done to a family, a wife, a good wife,
A good wife.
who cooked, cleaned, took care of her kids? Do you feel any remorse for what you've done,
Knowing that he was married.
knowing that he was married?
That part didn't even bother me.
Yeah.
And you was of age
that's
where it
why
should have, you know, you're not
decent
with a
woman.
child.
You were just low down and dirty and trifling.
So
That's
hold
what
on.
you were, and apparently you still are that way if you don't have no remorse for what you've done.
Hold on, Miss Swan. You said that part didn't bother you.
No, the reason I said that is because once, okay, you told, a married man told you he was married. Okay, I didn't keep on after the man.
But as a woman,
you can say no.
He was married.
And
you
I
could have
ju-
turned away.
You could even told my
If you
mom,
were decent,
hey,
you would have
he's
said
trying to
no
talk
to
to me.
Miss Swan, how many years did this affair last?
Year and a half.
About a
Oh,
year and a half.
Ma'am, I don't know. You go from one extreme to the other because from what I've heard was 29 years. I heard 10 years. Now it's a year and a half. You have to make up your mind as to how long this affair lasted. And I don't know.
The affair lasted a while, that's all I can say. Because I can't remember the years and how long it was. I don't remember none of that.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. So you attempted to name your son after their father.
Right.
Well, you didn't attempt, you did. You named him Ellis.
Right.
And that was their father's name.
Right.
And so when was the last time you saw their father?
The last time I saw their father, he left my house and he got towards the driveway. And he got out of his car and told me he'll see me in heaven. And that was the end of it. That's the last time I seen him.
He'd see you in heaven.
Well, I don't think y'all gonna
And-
be in heaven.
Yeah.
I don't think. And you said you're not remorseful. I don't
And the
think you're
thing
gonna
is-
meet. Y'all meet somewhere, but it won't be in heaven.
Yeah, and I think that the thing was that he was kind of feeling remorseful for the things that he was doing, and that's why he kind of like
And so,
gave up living.
in what proximity was the last time you saw him till when he passed away?
That night,
That night.
because that night when he left my house, a friend of mine came by and told me he was dead.
Well, he didn't die at night.
my dad
He
was found
he was found
deceased at 5:30 in the
yes.
morning.
Oh, well.
My mom was getting up to fix him breakfast, and she thought that he was just staying there, sleeping in.
Well,
and when
I
she
ain't
went to
know
go
that.
wake him up and tell him that breakfast was ready, my dad had passed. I think it came to him to where he was emotionally drained. That's what some of his friends was telling us, like he was emotionally drained and he felt that his time was up.
Yes, I just believe that all of his busy work had really gotten to
It
him.
caught up with him.
It caught up to him.
So, Miss Swan, did your son ever meet the man you say is his father?
No,
Never met him.
no.
And so you're destroying more lives. You
Yeah.
pretty much let him
So
meet his
how
dad.
old
that you
was-
claim to be his dad.
I didn't stop him from not meeting his daddy.
Okay, so Miss Swan, I have to ask you, and this is respectfully, but were you intimate with anyone else during the time you were intimate with their father, where there could potentially be another biological father of your son?
Not that no ma'am.
Well, Your Honor, she's saying no, but if she's sleeping with a married man, she didn't think enough to be respectful of herself and sleep with a married man. I can guarantee you that there may be more men if she's sleeping with
bring
married
out
men
your son.
and thinking that it's
Jerome,
okay
will
to do
you please
so.
escort Mr. Williams into the courtroom? Thank you.
You go right up here on the left.
Mr. Williams,
Yes, ma'am. How you doing?
thank you so much for joining us today. You know, we're here discussing, of course, the very sensitive subject surrounding your paternity and the plaintiff's late father. It is asserted that he is perhaps your biological father.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, we asked your mother, had you ever had an opportunity to meet this man?
I remember certain things of him, but I don't remember too much. I remember the van that he had, And I remember riding in this van and some noises they used to make with the little horns and everything. But
My dad fixed on cars, and he used to modify all his vehicles. That was one of his things. He used to build things, very handy person. So that van, that big green van, you're right.
Yes.
So the van he's
That
speaking
is
of,
correct.
it was your father's.
Yes.
When you look at Mr. Williams,
Wow.
do you see your father?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And you know, Your Honor, I can't really tell you how I feel about it, because in a point,
I know.
Well, Your Honor, I would just like to say that
I'm angry that she had an affair.
that he had an affair on my mom, because that's the only person that hurt here. But at the same time, when he came in 2001, my mom accepted him. She said that that was not his fault.
Yeah, she was
You
just
know,
like he was an
she
innocent
accepted
child.
him
She was
because
okay with
she
it.
said he was innocent in his whole thing. I've never gotten a chance to meet him.
Yeah, and that's a shame, because we had to grow. We grew up without, and it's just, we're 30-something years old. We already done lost a sister, and now, you know, we have to have a relationship now and start right now. And there's too much time that already done been passed, you know, and it's not our fault.
No, it isn't.
We didn't know, and it's not his
Mr.
fault.
Williams, did you ever have the chance to bond or to find a connection with your late father?
I always talk to him in my head. I used to go to his gravesite and sit there a lot.
You did.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
So you went to his grave?
Yeah, I went a lot.
No, this was, I'm sure, very emotional. Did your mother go with you?
Nah, not at the times I was going.
Did she know you were going?
Yeah, I done told her a couple times.
And that would help you feel closer to him?
Yeah, like I say, I always talk to him in my head, and you know, I know it's someone up there watching over me. So.
And they say you look like their father. Do you believe you look like?
My mother used to tell me that all the time, but I don't remember his face or nothing.
You don't remember his face?
Mm-mm.
Have you ever seen a picture of him?
No, ma'am.
He has
You've
his
never,
ears for
He
sure.
has his
in
ears,
32
his mouth.
years, you've never in 32 years seen a picture of your father.
Wow. You robbed him. You really did.
Yes, I did, because I didn't have no pictures of him, and that was my fault, because on one of my faults, because I didn't take no picture of him, but he never did like taking no pictures. He never did like
But
taking
you
no
could
pictures.
at least came to us. You knew who my mom was. You knew who the people was.
I didn't
Even
know
though it
your
was a
mama. I did not know your mama.
You knew my mama. You knew my mama face. You done seen my mama. You done been in her company. And
I probably been in her company, but I didn't know that's who it was.
You knew how to get in touch with us. You could have got in touch with us. You know what I'm saying? Even though it seemed like it wasn't a mistake to you, you don't feel any remorse for it, but you could have been like, there's a possibility more than what he done. He came to us.
So as you stand there and the plaintiffs look at you and say you look just like their father, would you like to see a picture of the man that you believe is your father?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. McMahon, Ms. Wilridge, is that okay?
That's
Because you
fine.
submitted one to the court.
He needs to.
He needs to.
Okay.
Look at that mouth.
Look at the ears.
Look at the ears.
You see yourself in that picture?
I don't. You think so? I really.
Yeah, I do. He probably don't. You know what I'm saying? This is a whole lot to soak in, but I do.
How do you feel?
It's the first time. It's a lot going on inside of me right now.
Yeah, it has to be, you know.
I wish he was here.
Yeah.
But it's nothing that I could take from her for what she done for me. You know, she bent over backwards for anything that I needed or wanted.
And as a mother, that's what she was supposed to do.
Jerome, I think it's time we go to the results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. It has been determined by this court that you are half siblings.
Knew it. Now he needs to go get his name changed. He's a junior. He's the only boy.
The only boy.
The only boy
that we know of.
So how does it feel today, Mr. Williams?
It's a lot lifted off of me. Now I know for sure, you know, and I really would like to have a copy of that picture.
Absolutely.
All of the pictures that we have, we can make you copies. I can put them on CD for you, everything.
Yeah.
And we want you to come by.
Yeah.
We want you to keep in contact. We want everything.
I get to have somebody to pick on. Don't you know I've been picked on for so many years? I get to have somebody to pick on.
But not by me.
Yeah. Just a little bit. Yeah.
Well, family, this was such a wonderful ending.
Yes.
I'm so happy for you.
Yes.
Take care. Court is adjourned.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ms. Coe, you say you're here today because your daughter is an out-of-control teenager and she needs help. Furthermore, you claim that you have serious doubts that your daughter's boyfriend, Mr. Boyce, is the father of your 7-month-old grandson. You say Mr. Boyce has been a good father to the baby, but that your daughter has numerous sexual partners, and so he needs to know the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
You have also petitioned the court to demand that your daughter attend parenting classes. Now, Ms. Coe, you dispute your mother's claims. You say you are positive that Mr. Boyce is your baby's father and say today's results of the paternity test will prove your mother wrong. You have asked the court to order your mother to stop meddling in your life once and for all. Now, Ms. Coe, please tell the court why you're here today.
I'm here because my daughter is out of control. She has an issue with authority. She doesn't want to be told what to do, how to do, or why to do it.
Give me specific instances.
Okay. From fights at school, hitting a police officer, not once, but twice.
Hitting a police officer?
She punched a police officer twice. Twice. I get the phone call to go up to the school. I get there. I was thankful that I knew this police officer. He looks at me and he says, "This is your daughter?" He says, "I could take her to jail right now. She could have a felony."
Wow.
The officer got in the way.
In your petition to the court, you stated something about damage to your home. Please tell me that.
She made a phone call saying that I and my girlfriend had jumped on her because she still did not want to follow house rules. All I asked her to do was not disrespect the house. Don't bring the drama to the house.
I feel like that's not the truth. That's not the truth.
You brought drama to the house.
That's not the
truth. You made a
truth.
phone call saying, my mother and her girlfriend just jumped on me. You come mess them up.
I said her girlfriend just jumped on me, and I did have somebody come over there.
She made that phone call. Them guys, they loaded up. They came to my house. They busted out every window. They busted out my car. They destroyed my house. This was 1 week before I was
That's your car?
That's my car. They broke out every window. That's my house. That's me standing on the porch trying to take a picture because now I'm upset and I'm like, you know what? I cannot believe my daughter is gonna allow this to happen.
And I couldn't believe your girlfriend jumped on me and I was pregnant. So
she didn't jump on you. They didn't jump. They broke out windows, car. They hit me with a brick. I got hit in the back of the head.
What?
And I also stopped them. I didn't think they was gonna do that to the house. I didn't say mess the house up. They took that into their own hands.
Zaire, I'm so disturbed by what I'm hearing right now. This is excessive.
Right.
And right
Over
now,
the top.
she's really
and dangerous. I want to know, how did you get here?
Well, most children grow up with their mother, not their father. I grew up with my father because due to the fact she abandoned me when I was 2 years old.
I did not abandon you.
I was told she dropped me off when I was 2 years old and never came back.
No.
And the reason I believed it is because I haven't seen her until I got in my teen age.
You didn't have so much as a visitation?
Oh, yes. I had visitation rights. She came over on weekends. I never
And
missed
so
a beat.
did you ever have a positive relationship?
No, not really.
With my
She's
mom.
always been resentful.
I feel like I had
Always
a good,
been
a good
resentful. Always been
relationship at
resentful.
sometimes.
I'm not here to, you move them boys in our house.
If
It
y'all
wasn't
had a
just one
problem, y'all
boy.
would have put them out. If y'all had a problem, y'all would have enforced the rules
So,
and put them out, did something.
when
I'm a
we
child,
found
like you
out
said,
that they
I'm a
were
child.
there,
If it was
what
a
did we
problem,
do?
you should have put them out. If I'm a child,
I need to clarify something on this. Ms. Co-mom, you're saying that Ms. Co-daughter moved a gang into your home?
Yes.
it's at your house. You pay bills. If you wanted them out, you should have put them out.
I worked from 7 o'clock at night to 7 o'clock in the morning, 7 days a week.
How many people were there living down there?
They weren't even living down there.
7 people. Were you the only girl in this?
It was 3 girls. It was me, another girl that lived with us, and another girl that lived with us. Everybody was living there. That was the hangout spot. That's where you go. You running away or you ain't got nowhere to stay, you gonna come there.
Now, you're hanging out with these guys. Are you hanging out just as friends, or are any of them more than friends? Are
One
you
of them
dating?
was the guy I was dating, the other one was just friends. They were dating my other 2 friends.
So that brings us to why we're here, because now you have a grandchild.
But it's not just one guy. See, that's what she's saying. But it's not just one guy. There was somebody else in the picture.
So, Mom, you're saying she was sleeping with multiple guys?
I know that there was someone else. Now, how many more it was, I'm not for sure. But I do know that there was someone else. So, when I find out she's pregnant, I go to the guy. I go to Larry. I say to Larry, look, as Zair's mother, I'm going to keep it real with you. I've got to be 100. I say you need to get a DNA test.
But as the girl, I was being real, and I said, I'm not gonna lie, but there is a possibility. This baby could be someone else. I didn't just say you're the father. I said it's a possibility because I did do
But then,
something.
okay,
I did
see,
mess up, and I
private-
did slip
so you
and mess
did-
around with somebody else.
So you have a boyfriend now, and that boyfriend may or may not be the father of your child.
Yes, because I did have a boyfriend, and I only messed with Larry when me and my boyfriend got into it. I went over to my best friend's house, and he was there.
So now, what I believe, and you can tell me if I'm right, Mom, you're worried now about this cycle repeating itself.
Exactly.
And I know you still love and are concerned for your daughter. You've made that clear today.
Really, because even after she had done all of that to me, I moved out to Arizona. She calls me 2 months later after I'm in Arizona, and she says, Mom, I need you. I don't have anybody. She's about to have my grandson. What do we do? And then she
You seem
still didn't
emotional.
want to
What
do.
do you feel? Tell me.
The
It's
only
okay.
rule I had for
let her
her
speak, Mom. What do you feel, sweetie? Tell me. You needed your mom? That's okay. We all need our moms. You don't have to feel ashamed about that.
I was there for you.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Are you worried for your baby? You don't want your baby to have to grow up and feel the things you felt? What are your hopes for your son? What do you want for him?
I just want him to have both of his parents. And I don't want him to grow up like I did. And I don't want him to run the streets like I did. Because I don't want him just walking out to the store and anything can happen to him.
Well, today we are going to determine who his father is. And we're also going to help encourage you. Your mom feels your pain. And I know you may feel like she doesn't love you, but if you look over at her right now, she's crying your same tears because just like you love your child, she loves you. I know you brought a witness today, Mr. Boyce, am I correct? Jerome, could you please escort Mr. Boyce into the courtroom for us? I want to hear from him. He's your boyfriend, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And one of the potential fathers. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Boyce, please come and step to the podium. We know that today we're here to determine the paternity of this particular child, but we also know that this child is very important to you.
Yeah, he really is.
Am I correct?
Yes.
Please tell the court about that.
I feel like from the beginning I knew it was a possibility, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying, he made me grow more, you know what I'm saying, since he been around. Because my mom, she passed away, and once I told her about it, you know what I'm saying, she just, oh, that's my grandbaby. She buying him everything. I'm like,
So your mom...
She passed away in February.
And so you're hoping today, what are your hopes?
I'm hoping that he's mine.
That's wonderful. Mr. Boyce, I have to say to you that this court has seen countless instances where a young man stands before me and you can tell they're wishing they aren't the child's father. And I first want to commend you before we get any results of the man that you are, the man that you are growing and becoming, the fact that you can give love to a child that does have uncertainty as it relates to who their father is, but that you understand that love can come from all forms, fashions, and people, and that you can be the father figure that child needs, regardless of that. I want to commend you for that.
Right. Yeah.
And he's making you a better man.
Yeah, he made me feel like I got more to live for. After I lost my mom and my brother, I felt like I had nothing. That's my man.
You looking at pictures of you as a child and him as a child. I can see in your eyes you love him. I'm really, really proud of you. I really am. I want you to know that. And you know who else is?
Who?
Your mom.
Yeah.
She is. And as, you know, as much of a stand-up man, you know, you're being in this decision, in this situation, I should say, you're being a really mature individual. I don't think we can discount the fact that as you walked into this courtroom, you may, and you should naturally have some doubt. You have that, right, where you don't know.
I have doubts, but...
Why in particular do you have doubts?
The time it happened, it's like we wasn't together. She was in a relationship with another guy. I always got a rubber in my back pocket, a condom. I keep that.
Even today?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Good, good. I'm glad to hear it.
I can't really say if I used it or not because I was under the influence, like, tough.
So you don't remember if the sex you had was safe sex?
Yes.
It wasn't.
And the defendant...
I know it wasn't. Because the first time, even when you wasn't under the influence, you didn't use it.
Was you drunk?
What about the first time?
Was you drunk?
What about the first time?
Was you drunk?
No.
Okay, the first time, that was something else,
Did
though.
you use one? No. The second time? No. The third time? No. He didn't use it.
I used condoms.
Not with me?
Yes, I did. Man, okay.
You ruining his reputation right here.
Yes, I do, though. I probably ain't use them as much as I should, but that was because I was with you.
Exactly. You didn't use them on me.
Okay, but I used them after the first time, though. No, okay, okay.
He didn't use
Ms. Coe, but you have told this court that you think it could possibly be Mr. Boyce or maybe someone else. Okay. Let's go to the results, okay? Jerome, do you have the results?
Here you go, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are we ready?
No.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
When it comes to baby Christian, Mr. Boyce, you are not the father.
Yes, you are. You're his father.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, you are.
I'm still his father.
You okay? I know this was not the way probably any of you wanted this to turn out, because I can see it in all of your faces. Jerome, can you give him a tissue? Hug him? Absolutely.
Can I please? It's okay, Mary. It's
Absolutely.
okay. We lost everybody, but we are in a long time. It's okay. I am so sorry, but it's okay.
Mr. Boyce?
It's okay. You need to sit down. It's okay. All right.
I know the news is going to take a minute to sink in.
It's okay. It's all right.
And I know it's hard to accept. But if you can hear me now and potentially just think about this in weeks and years to come, that families are more than just biological connections. They are love connections. Biology determines the father, but love determines who the daddy is. And the court is going to encourage you and provide you with resources towards parenting. I want you guys to learn about how to be great parents so you could do this for that little boy. Are we clear with that? I wish you all the best of luck. And you know what? At the end of the day, no matter what happens, look into that little face and do the right thing. Good day. Court is adjourned.